Good morning, students. This is our fourth video class for our chapter 1, that is in Indian economy on the eve of independence from Indian economic development. And we have covered so far the agriculture sector under the colonial rule, industrial sector under the colonial rule, and demographic conditions, foreign trade, and now we'll study about the infrastructure under colonial period. So basic infrastructure like railways, ports, water transport, post and telegraph developed under the colonial rule. But the motive, we can say the British purpose, the motive was to serve colonial interest, not serving the people in India. So far in this chapter we have studied so far the Britishers, they were concerned more with their home country, that is England. They never considered about the Indian economy, and our economy suffered a lot under the colonial period. Our agriculture sector was ruined, it was stagnant, it was not growing, and commercialization of crops happened, but they were more concerned with the cash crops rather than the food crops. So our farmers, their families they were not having even the food grains, wheat, rice for themselves. They had to produce cash crops for the industries in Britain. Industries was ruined, our handicraft industry was declined, and that foreign trade, that Britain maintained the monopoly control. So, and demographic conditions we have studied so far about our population, mortality rate was high and literacy level was low. So now we are trying to understand about the infrastructure under the colonial period, and now you can understand that the real motive was to serve colonial interest, not serving people of India. So now we understand one by one with the help of infrastructure, like purpose of roads, why they built roads in India. So first we can clearly see that it was just to mobilize army within India, and secondly drawing out raw material. Drawing means taking out raw material. Raw material means like cash crops from countryside to nearest railway station or ports to send these to England. This now we are aware that India became the exporter of raw material for the industries in Britain. And thirdly, there was shortage of all weather roads. So ultimately we can see that the purpose of roads was just to mobilize army and drawing out raw material. And in case of railways, we can see that people can travel long distances. We can say as a social benefit we can take. For the first time under the colonial period, railway started and people started traveling long distances. Earlier it was not possible. And commercialization of Indian agriculture happened. We are aware that this was again not good for our economy or for our farmers or for our people. The motive was to just make India exporter of raw material. Commercialization of agriculture means commercialization of cash crops instead of food crops. So country's economic loss was more. In the end, we can summarize that country's economic loss was more than the social benefits by the introduction of railways in India. And other infrastructure facilities like inland waterways, like transportation on rivers, sea, it was uneconomical at that time. Electric telegraph they started, it was expensive and it served the purpose of maintaining law and order. Third and lastly, postal services was useful but inadequate, means there was shortage of postal services. So we can again give it a look to the infrastructure, like purpose of roads, then railways, waterways, electric telegraph, post and postal services. And lastly, we can give it a look for the economic challenges at the time of independence. After 200 years of colonial period, our economy was not in a good condition, not in a good health. So our challenges were there on with our planners after independence. So here we can give it a look to some of the challenges, like firstly surplus labor and low productivity in agriculture sector. Surplus means we can now clearly understand that 75% of the workforce in India was engaged in agriculture, and the other sectors were not in a, like manufacturing and service sector was not in a position to engage or absorb these. So we can say that was the challenge at the time of independence after 15th August 1947, that on the For our planners, it was a challenge to that workforce should be absorbed by other sectors also, and the productivity of agriculture should be increased. So that was the challenge. Low productivity was there, means output was low at that time. And industrial sector, we can talk about, there was requirement of modernization, modern machinery. Diversification means diversify into other areas other than textiles. There was a need to diversify into other areas, new areas in manufacturing. Capacity building means more production requirement was there, and more government investment, public investment, government investment was required in industrial sector. And thirdly, there was need for development in foreign trade with other nations. That was a challenge in the area of foreign trade. And development in infrastructure was again a challenge. This again we will study in detail in the economic challenges. One of the chapters was there in our course. We'll study in detail infrastructure. So far we have understood that roads, railways, communication systems, these are the part of infrastructure. Energy is infrastructure, so there is a need to develop that also. And lastly, the fifth point is removal of poverty and unemployment from our economy. There was rampant poverty after the British rule. Unemployment was there in the British rule, so there was a need to remove that from our economy. So these are some of the challenges at the time of independence. Now you have to do some of the questions after revising all slides. You need to complete some of the questions. First is, what was the focus of economic policies pursued by the colonial government in India? What were the impacts of these policies? Second, what were the main causes of India's agriculture stagnation during the colonial period? Stagnation means no growth. We have studied in one of the slides. Third, what was the twofold motive? We have studied in agriculture sector under colonial rule. We have studied twofold motive behind systematically deindustrializing effected by the British in pre-independent India. So we have studied this in colonial period, in industrial sector. I'm sorry, it was not agriculture sector, it was industrial sector under colonial period. So what was the twofold motive behind systematic deindustrializing effected by the British in pre-independent India? Fourth, what objective did the British intend to achieve through the policies of infrastructure development in India? What objective did the British intend to achieve through the policies of infrastructure development in India? So fifth question, critically appraise some of the shortfalls of industrial policy pursued by British colonial administration. Shortfalls of industrial policy. Question number 6, what do you understand by drain of Indian wealth during the colonial period? This we have studied in export surplus. And seventh is, give a quantitative appraisal of India's demographic profile. We have studied India's demographic indicators during the colonial period. So revise from that slide and write it down, these questions in your notebook. Question number 8, highlight the salient features of India's pre-independent occupational structure. Question number 9, underscore some of the India's most crucial economic challenges at the time of independence. And question number 10, indicate the volume and direction of foreign trade, or we can say trade, at the time of independence. So we have completed our chapter. These 10 questions you have to do in your notebook, and firstly you have to revise it and write these slides in a separate notebook of Indian economic development. And in case of any doubt, you can mail to me. I'll try to sort out your queries. Thank you. Stay at your home and be healthy.